The 440th Airlift Wing flies C-130H aircraft and is an Air Force Reserve unit with about 300 full-time members and had over 1,000 traditional reservists until recently. The unit was moved to Pope Air Force Base 10 years ago because of BRAC.
BRAC 2005, the Base Realignment and Closure Commission in 2005, moved the 440th Airlift Wing from Milwaukee to Pope Field. So that move took place in 2007. At the same time, there was an active duty C-130 wing here, the 43rd Airlift Wing. BRAC also directed the closure of that wing or inactivation of that wing, and kind of the replacement was the 440th Airlift Wing. And then the big part of BRAC was Pope Air Force Base was then inactivated and it became Pope Army Airfield, part of Fort Bragg.
The 440th return to Fayetteville was a bit of a homecoming for the unit. The 440th Troop Carrier Group was founded in 1943 in Indiana with 52 C-47 Skytran transporters. The group began training the Army paratroopers at Pope Field at Fort Bragg to prepare for battles during World War II. The 440th also worked with the 82nd Airborne during the war, driving paratroopers and the 376 Parachute Field Artillery of the 82nd Airborne Division to a drop zone in southeastern Holland for the mission known as the Bridge Too Far. The 440th also played a crucial role in the Battle of the Bulge as troops continued to push into Germany and end World War II.
Well, it's always important to keep our history alive so that we learn from our history. And what's so wonderful about the 440th is that they had the history here at Pope, 60, 70 years ago, which is absolutely amazing for them to be back here and continue serving and continue accomplishing the mission to our nation.
In April of 2014, the Air Force announced plans to inactivate the 440th. North Carolina's congressional delegation began fighting the Air Force's decision and were able to delay the inactivation through at least September of 2015 until a review of the decision could be made.
One thing that's been made clear to me is that the decision to choose the 440th was at least in part influenced by constraints that they have on making other decisions they would have made. I've been told there were about 11 different candidates for being able to achieve their cost-cutting goals. 4 of them are protected through the BRAC process because it would have risen to a level that would require BRAC authority to be able to make the changes. So we know that there are at least 4 other places that if the Air Force were left to make the best decision, they'd make a decision somewhere other than Pope.
The Air Force finally released their report to Congress on April 14, 2015, and continued to show their desire to inactivate the 440th by the end of September 2015.
Our paratroopers need to be trained the best and the brightest, and we need to do everything we can to make sure that they are ready. And we feel very strongly that if we're just simply depending on C-130s coming in from other areas, that this is going to affect their ability to train. And this is just something that we have got to continue to fight for.
On July 10, 2015, Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter visited Fort Bragg to discuss all the proposed reductions in force across the military. That same weekend, the Air Force announced that they were extending the deadline of inactivating the 440th until September 2016.
Secretary Carter's visit this past time was primarily for the Army's force structure announcement, and really the only participation that we in the Air Force had was in the town hall that he had, and that was open to everyone here at Fort Bragg.
Colonel Carl Schmickens took over command of the 440th Airlift Wing in July 2015 after General Scanlon advanced to his new position with the U.S. Air Force Expeditionary Center in New Jersey.
Having been here as the Vice Wing Commander for both General Scanlon and his predecessor, General Ham, is that I have years of experience with this wing, so I know the people, I know all the transition planning that's been going on in the last couple of years, and that has made this transition quite a bit smoother.
The number of members within the 440th has gone down since the announcement of the inactivation originally happened. In the spring of 2015, an Air Force Reserve clearinghouse was opened, which is a job search capability within the military for members to look for open positions. So far, there have been about 200 members that have moved on from the 440th since the clearinghouse began.
We have approximately 900, maybe just a little bit over 900 personnel in the wing at this time. Of those 900, approximately half, around 450 or so, are in the clearinghouse right now. And those, now that's a fluid number. People come into the clearinghouse, people go out as they find other jobs, or they can actually kind of pull themselves out of the clearinghouse if they decide they want to wait a little bit.
Still, the 440th continues to train along with their Army counterparts of the 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg. This year, they have already increased jump exercises to 18,500 parachutes.
We concentrate on the number of actual parachutes that exit the airplane. We look at that, and so far this year we've actually done more than we did last year.
Until a firm decision is made on the future of the 440th, it is business as usual at Pope Army Airfield.
All those decisions are made, way above our level. That's up to the highest levels of the Air Force and Air Force Reserve. And the best we can do is just, keep doing our day-to-day mission and see what happens.